Hello, everyone. I am glad to report I am finished loading all of my Wizard's Wardrobe builds into the add-on, and I have also, as you can see, reinstalled some of the add-ons, well, all of the add-ons actually that I was using previously, and I am happy to report that the add-on has saved all of my information for my builds across all characters and all builds that I have done. So I'm just going to showcase this a little bit with my main tank build, what I call Glacial Echoes. And if you're not familiar with how this add-on works, when you go into a trial, a dungeon, an arena, um, you can even set this up for Overland. You can have specific builds um, saved, as you can see on the right-hand side of my screen, and you can have them automatically switch on the fly in the middle of the trial. Now, I have, I'll use AS as an example. So there are 3 builds set up for AS. As you can see on the right, there's St. Olms the Just. A little trick I learned is you can also order this the way you want it to by changing the order that way. There is a way you can make this add-on error out, though. I will warn you, you cannot take a 3 and go to the right and make it go up to the 1. It's not a loop. You have to go backwards with it. And so same as if you're working with the 1, you cannot go backwards and into a 3. You have to go forwards into a 2, if that makes sense. If you try to do those things, it will cause an error. If it does happen to you, don't worry, you haven't like boogered up the entire system. What I would recommend is to create a new page here and then go to the errored one and delete the errored one and then start over on that trial. All of your other trials are not affected by that error if it happens. You just need to clean off the one trial, so just keep that in mind. So I'm going to go into AS, and I'm just going to showcase how this automatically populates my builds when I get there. So I did this across 20 characters. I did absolutely no other add-ons while I was loading this. So it may not have to be that way for you guys. You could very well just go into the options here, go to the add-ons and manage. You could disable everything here and try that and see if it works and leave only the Wizard's Wardrobe add-on on. I'm not sure if that will work for you. Again, I did do a video on what my procedure was when I first discovered how to get this to save. If you haven't seen that, check out my channel. It's called Wizard's Wardrobe Build Saves Fixed or something like that. I don't remember the exact verbiage right off the top. I'll link it in the description. How about that? That'll make it easier. Use technology. So when we get loaded in here, we'll see what happens when my build gets in. It should recognize that there it is. As you can see on the screen, it has loaded my Asylum Sanctorum build. And there's a couple of things you can do here. You can either go into St. Olms the Just right away, or you can go upstairs to fight the other 2 bosses. Just depends on what you want to do first. So I'm just going to go into St. Olms the Just because he's on the, well, it loaded that one right now. So let me go over to I'll run upstairs here to the other one to just show you what happens when you go into the other area. It will automatically recognize where I'm at. And there you go. It successfully loaded the pious load. as you can see. And if I go to the other side, this is essentially what the Wizard's Wardrobe will do. You can set this up for dungeons, and that's in here. When you go up to the top here, you change this to Endless Dungeon is Infinite Archive, by the way. And then there's Arenas, which is Black Rose Prison. I imagine you could probably do one for Dragonstar Arena if you wanted to for add pulls and bosses, but and then there's the miscellaneous, which is what I set up for dungeons. And again, every one of these pages, think of this as like your armory build or what you have to have purchased on the setup. So your CP, your skill lines, the class lines that you have, all of those have to be purchased and ready, freely to use, interchangeable, without accessing an armory or an altar or any of that. And then it will switch out gear for you, CP points that can freely be movable, skills that are freely already purchased. It can interchange those out on the fly instantly, as you saw there, just as soon as you walk into a trial. So I'll run up this ramp here and I'll just showcase how it switches to the other build. In all honesty, I'm not sure there's much difference between the two, but it is, there it is right there. May take a second, and there it is. It's loaded. So sometimes, as you can see here, the CP can take a little bit longer to change out. But then once you get into giving it a second, it will automatically do it. And this will optimize the way you guys complete trials and dungeons. It really will. Because instead of having one setup that you just kind of change, or maybe you even forget to do something, you can really take your time and think about what things you wanted to do for add pulls and for boss fights, for tanking. For example, okay, here's my Rock Grove setup, and the CP is going to take a little bit, as you can see. But the other thing, like I was trying to think about, okay, Wizard's Wardrobe, what do you do for add pulls for tanks? Well, that's pretty easy. You can figure out how to use things to grab them together and debuff them, and for quick burns and applying the most valuable debuffs to help the ads go quicker, and the easiest ways to chain them in and all of that. And AoE skills are important. So there's that. So then I started thinking about DPS. Okay, DPS, you can set up add pulls for different CPs. For example, this champion node here, the Occult Overload. This is very powerful for add pulls. This makes ads explode when they die, and apply status effects to anything else that around them that is still living. And so this, if everybody in your trials for add pulls, the DPS slot this every time, this should help. This almost acts like a miniature. Think of it as almost like a miniature Azure Blight set here. Not quite nearly as powerful, I will say that. I'm not saying it's as good, but it will explode, and it does Oblivion damage, and it applies a status effect on top of that. So it can be really lethal depending on what you get. And it can reproc every time you kill something. This happens every second. So as soon as you kill something, if you put another status effect on something and it dies a second later, boom, there's another explosion. This can just set off a chain reaction that just everything dies. Now, it's important that every DPS wear this because it triggers on whoever kills the enemy. So if you got a DPS not wearing this and they get the kill, it will not proc this for somebody else slotting it. So keep that in mind. Another important optimization you can do with the Wizard's Wardrobe. For healers, these trials that you're doing, there's several fights where you need to slot the skill Purge. You can automatically set your builds up on specific boss fights to have those ready to go, so you don't have to hold up the team right outside the door before you do the fight in, for example, let's go to, let's say, Kind's Aegis. Before you do Yandir the Butcher, you know you're going to need Purge on that fight. Slot Purge here in your tool. That way when you walk through that door to fight Yandir the Butcher, it's there, it's ready to go, and you're cooking with gas, and you're going to shorten the time of your trial. You may even be able to eke out a speed run with these optimizations that just change on the fly and make your trial go that much quicker. Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick video on kind of a recap. This is working for me. If you follow my other video and take those steps, this should work for you. I will say you want to probably be careful with how many add-ons you are running at one time. You may have to, for example, if you're not doing writs at the time, you may have to uncheck this and not use it, you know, at the moment, so that it doesn't cause an issue with the add-ons that you are currently using. If you're not going to do a trial, maybe disengage the Wizard's Wardrobe. That way, the activities you are using are going to work. So just keep that in mind. I just wanted to make a quick video to show all that and give you guys a thumbs up that this is good to go, and what you can do to set up your builds to optimize your runs for each role. Again, you can set up multiple pages for this. Like, for example, here I'll just do a quick show you right before I close out the video. You go into the add-on here, go down to the Wizard's Wardrobe. This is my main tank build for Rock Grove. If I wanted to just do an off tank, I could switch over here like this, go down here and equip this page just like that, and boom, I'm on my off tank build. It's that simple. Apparently I didn't buy a skill. I'll have to fix that. But that's what I'm talking about for this video. If you like this video, please check out my channel for more information regarding what I have. If you go to my channel and you go down into my created playlists, I have everything separated there. It's organized by subject, trials team, tanks, healers, DPS. I've got all kinds of stuff. Farming recommendations, general knowledge about the game. I've got a few PvP videos. I'm not an optimal PvPer, I will say that. A lot of my information is just kind of general information. For example, I've got a video on buffs in Cyrodiil, on how you can get AP faster, that kind of thing. So check out my channel if that interests you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.